And we're live. Thank you all for joining us for another episode of Shadowrun Up in Smoke, our Shadowrun 6th Edition live play game set in London 2082. Welcome to our cyberpunk world of magic, matrix glitches, and a bunch of weirdness. Before we jump into tonight's proceedings, let's just quickly go around the room, so to speak, and people can tell you who they are and who they're playing. Kat, take it away.
Hello, I'm Kat, or at Cleric of Court. I play Nico, the human street shaman, who was traumatized, hopefully for the last time, by her ex, Vic. Thank you, Kevin. Who has lost everything and is now rebuilding and getting stronger in her magic. She's really finding a connection, I think, with it.
And now the Bubble Toil and Trouble couple.
What does that even mean?
You're missing a witch.
Yeah.
I mean, with what happened last session and KTP going full on weirdness, you got the witch right there. So enjoy it.
Then let's hope there's some more weirdness today.
Well,
that's what we're going to aim for. So KTP, Technomancer, weirdness.
Grifter, street samurai, badass. There we go. Boom.
Okay, that'll do it. So last time we continued the exploration of a certain haunted house and finished the haunted house with the removal of a certain flame-headed individual of no actual name given, just a manifestation of badness, of negativity, and just violence and other issues in the city just gathered in a single point. Unfortunately, the encounter turned out to be much more challenging and just much more difficult and harrowing than any of the group expected, particularly Nico, who, let's just say, went in with a confident swagger and came out not that well. So there's been a bit of a fallout on that, but Nico is receiving some TLC from her newly adopted sisters and is going to be learning enchanting. KTP crossed the boundary, the forbidden door between magic and technology, and paid the physical price, which may recover. I'm sure it'll all be fine. And Grifter was feeling lonely and that he didn't have company and was trying to get KTP to play, but she wouldn't. Unless he admitted that he was lonely and needed company, which he didn't. And that kind of brings us to the present. We're going to pick up our game a few days later. Give people time to recover from all the injuries, be fully healed. Just statistically, should be enough for the supposed rolls to get you all back in tip-top shape. And also will be a time for the players to deal and cope a bit with the events that transpired. And I asked my players, it's the morning about 3-4 days later. What's going on at the base?
Not a lot, I guess. What did we have in the pipeline? Because this was the last
We have to go back and take care of the human trafficking thing.
Yeah,
at
at
the
the night
traveling
at the
casino.
casino, right? That's
Yeah.
all we've got left at the moment,
I
isn't
think
it?
so.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is
You've
one
got Ship Adventure.
pending thing, of course. And I'm going to ask something of the characters because I know where KTP stands on this. I know more or less where Nico has been, where her mind has been going on this subject. But Grifter, much like everyone else, you have now a way out of this life. At least the illegal side of it. And into a more legitimate route, which you could even, given the paper and the money that is attached to it, take up some more legal, like lawful killing and shooting. What has been going through Grifter's mind regarding leaving this all behind? The possibility of one day just shutting down this space, shuttering it all, and just walking away.
I don't think he's overly interested in doing that. I don't. Again, it's all very foreign to him, which I guess is the same as Nico in a way. And although he knows a little bit more about being legal, I suppose, than Nico does, I guess he just lives in a slight world where he just kind of does what he wants, and it doesn't really matter whether it's illegal or not. Just behaves in a way, and that's that. So, I mean, apart from right at the beginning of Shadowrun, we haven't had too many run-ins with the law anyway, have we?
We've had several run-ins with the law,
but
including that bit where you were actively being pursued.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking of at that point. Yeah, but apart from that,
Blowing up the police station.
Oh yeah, and that. Yeah.
There was a time when Grifter had his own flat, and he came and went, and had his business on the side, but still managed to live a normal life instead of being hidden in a base where that no one can find.
Yeah, that's true. I think to a certain degree he enjoys the way things are panning out at the moment. I think the company maybe because
he's not as lonely.
Yeah, well, no, he's lonely, but he would just go out to the local drinking hole wherever that was, get wasted, go home. That was so there wasn't much of a social aspect to his life in that regard. So now that we've got this little team, I mean, it gives him a little bit of interaction that he wouldn't have had. So I don't think he necessarily needs to go legit to get the bonuses out of what he's been getting anyway. So that would just bring more problems, or at least more. He'd have to pay more attention to stuff, and he doesn't do that, does he? He just acts because he's always been used to just acting as he wants.
Fair enough. So, in essence, Grifter is not likely to take that package.
I don't think so at the moment. I don't think there's any incentive for him to do that.
Oh, well, Nico, how have the past few days been treating you?
Shitty. Nightmares. Not it. In addition to her insomnia, there have been a lot of nightmares. She, I think, after the first or second night, she with Dr. Watson kind of waking her up out of those nightmares, she started casting the silent spell on herself before going to sleep, so that nobody else would hear her.
And is Nico pretending that everything is fine while awake?
She's doing her best.
Okay. I'm going to have you make a charisma and con roll opposed by anyone's intuition and perception if they so wish to do so. Because I know one member of the group that likely will be keyed in to something going on. Well, another one I know will likely be oblivious to it.
Pete got one.
Case in point. Need to beat 4 or equal
5.
5.
Of course.
I think you know Nico well enough to know when Nico is carrying some baggage and is not telling anybody.
Yeah. I mean, and there's physical size too. I mean, she's a little paler than normal. She's got the dark circles under her eyes. She normally, when she's, having insomnia, at least within a couple of nights, she gets one good sleep or something. But no, she looks pretty bad. She's losing weight.
You can't hide from the keen eyes and the keen mind of KTP.
She knows Nico too well, but she also knows that Nico won't say what's wrong until Nico is ready. So she's just making excuses for her and Nico to hang out. So under the guise of more cooking lessons or, stuff like that.
Yeah. More reading lessons, sign language, all of it.
Yeah, just, excuses to be there. So when Nico does want to talk, she can.
Yeah, I think what KTP is going to clock is Nico looks like she did after Harley.
What was that? Sorry, Cap?
Nico looks like she did after everything that went down with Harley.
Okay.
And I think that's what's probably going to clock with KTP. It's like, oh, I've seen her like this. I remember.
Yeah.
When she was like this before.
I know, yeah, there's a pattern of behavior there.
Yeah. Yeah, big time.
Okay.
Oh, well.
She's not going to bring it up. She's, even if she does, it's going to be longer. It's not going to be just several days. And it's a pattern. I mean, her whole life has been traumatic event after traumatic event after traumatic event, and that's how she started with insomnia in the first place. So, and even before
all of a sudden,
even before she hooked up with this group, that was her life. So, it's just the way her life goes. So she's kind of floats along and goes along with whatever KTP suggests, and she's
Makes
existing.
some more terrible scrambled eggs.
Yeah, burning the oatmeal.
And aside from trying to goad Nico into saying stuff, what is KTP up to? There was some research that was beginning last time.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you that you don't need to roll. You have not found anything that supports that what you were able to do is even remotely possible. And the fact that you still more or less blinded in your left eye suggests that you maybe shouldn't do it again.
Yeah, but come on, to be able to achieve something that's impossible, there is that point, that bit of KTP is like,
yeah, there is something there for an analytical mind to go, but why? And try to poke at it. But the data suggests it has never been attempted. If it has been attempted before, no one has found any success. And if anyone did, they didn't tell anyone else about it, which is usually would tell you that no one has succeeded, because it is the Matrix, and hackers, deckers, technomancers in general are they're just people on Twitter. They love claiming stuff and just saying, putting out there how awesome they are. It goes with the territory. And yet there has been nothing on this. And I think the only has KTP shared the details of the experience with anyone, or has it been
Probably
more or less?
No, she's probably visited the last world, because obviously where Malcolm is no longer around, kind of Mixer would be the next technomancer type person that she would trust.
Mixer freaked the hell out when you told him. Because he would straight up tell you that's not. That you're kidding. That's that's some bullshit. No, just no. No, just no. No. The hell you're talking about?
Yeah. It happened.
Make an intuition and perception check. I'll put the difficulty of this one at 4. Fairly high, but necessary.
It'll be 3 now. You watch. It was 7.
Holy fuck. So Mixer is freaked out. Firefly, his wife, also, they're like, you're fucking kidding me.
No, I think I think she probably would have found a point where Mixer was alone. I don't know if she would have told anyone else.
Okay. Just Mixer or anyone else of the Matrix crew?
Now.
Just Mixer. No, he freaked the hell out completely. If you had mentioned it with someone, a particular someone there, then this role would have applied. I'm sorry, but no. Mixer is baffled. He does ask you if there's been any consequences, anything, because it's the two usually don't mix. No matter how many projects there are of different corps trying to combine magic and technology, usually for disastrous consequences. And he asks you what kind of consequence has there been?
Oh yeah, she'd tell him about the eye.
Has KTP mentioned anything about her loss of eyesight to anyone else in the team? Or has that been kept a bit on the wraps?
I think Nico clocked it in the kitchen.
Yeah, I don't think she would have necessarily outright said it, but I think there obviously would be some discomfort. So Grifter and Nico probably noticed it, and she put it down to something in her eye or her eye twitching or something like that. But I think it'd be not necessarily wanting to hide it from them, but not wanting to scare them with it.
I would say, given the cohabitation between all of you, definitely Nico would likely have picked it up, especially if she's doing something on your left side and you just not reacting at all. Your periphery is affected.
Yeah, Nico wouldn't say anything. She would just make sure that she doesn't approach or do anything from the left that she needs KTP to do about. She would everything would start coming from the right-hand side. And
I need to ask, if Grifter picked it up, if Grifter used the opportunity to just fuck with her? Was Grifter more a kind, giving soul now?
If Grifter, you're saying he has definitely noticed. So I would say he's made a mental note of it and would be almost testing it to see how.
You've been using it in the Matrix when we play video games, haven't you?
That's
You've been using it
exactly
to your advantage.
So, like, to see how bad it, what is really, is it just a bit fuzzy? Is the site got, so I put things down there and see if they get knocked over or, and then
I
makes
will
just
tell you, since you say that, it's been progressing. Like, it's been getting a bit better, but the first couple of days, nothing. It's like completely blind in one eye.
So yeah, it's
Now in KDP now there is some visibility, but it's still fuzzy.
So yeah, he wouldn't have said anything, but it's well noted that he knows there's something wrong. He's not a complete dick, so he knows you don't just. Do you know what I mean? Come out with stuff like that. But,
That's growth. That's growth right there.
you know what I mean?
Hey, so what is the crew up to aside from recovering and licking their wounds?
Well, I'm assuming because we have been licking our wounds, we haven't really done anything in regards to the casino at this point because we've all been healing up, right?
Yeah.
I think after like 3 or 4 days, Nico, every once in a while you see her, she's got the coin out and she's either flipping it or she's running it over her knuckles back and forth. Just kind of playing with it.
Hint.
It's just, you can tell that it's on her mind, but she's not going to say anything about it. But it started to, it's like she put her hand in her pocket one day and went, oh yeah, that, huh. So it's on her mind, but she's not saying anything about it.
All right. So KTP notices this and she kind of, like, I don't know, while they're sitting around having breakfast or dinner or whatever, kind of mentions the casino. Doesn't necessarily go, oh, like, we should follow up on this thing, but mentions the casino. But she does have an ulterior motive. Like, she wants to go back and then kind of just sort of hang out with magic people, like just to kind of get a feel for how they work, if you get what I mean, like how their brains work, not necessarily to do what she did before, but just to understand how, like, what she did, maybe help her to understand how she achieved it, if that makes sense.
Did she mention that to Nico?
I'll tell you one thing, KTP, as you ponder this. In private, there is one person who straight up asked you, why can't you see shit out of your left eye? And it's Karis.
Yeah.
Because, as always, he lives in the upper floor and he can see down and he watches you little people move about and he can read all of you perfectly.
Yeah. No, I think, to be honest, I think she probably would have told Karis. Like, if he had come out and just straight up asked her like that, because over the past 3 days, she's probably spent some time with him too. I think she probably would have talked to him, like where she went to Mixer more for advice and information. To Karis, it would probably be more someone to confide in.
Karis picks it up just fairly quickly. He is very observant. And he knows all of you and your different issues. And yeah, he does ask you directly. And if KTP shares the idea of trying to figure this out more, he would be the, not voice of reason, but the voice of caution. Of, at least wait until you can at least wait to see if you're recovering sight or not before you go and burn out something else.
Yeah, no, like the casino thing is more just to, like, not necessarily like right now to try it again. It's more just to be among, because she's used to technomancers hanging out at the last bar on the right. Like, she's wondering how it's different being around magic people, if that makes sense. It's more I did this really weird thing that shouldn't be possible. Why? Like, not like right now. Like, don't get me wrong. Once she's done more, like, once she has some information, she might well go down that route. But right now, it's a why. It's that why. Like, she doesn't like not knowing something or the reason for something.
Oh,
Does KTP share with Nico about wanting to approach this, knowing about magically how?
I think that while they're hanging out, like, she wouldn't necessarily say, like, oh, I want to hang out with magic people. But I think Nico might have noticed her asking more questions about magic, maybe.
Nico, Nico would say, "Why don't you come with me to meet Sarah and Amelia?" They know more. I mean, mine comes from. I mean, I don't know. It just is there, and I didn't really study this stuff, but they know a lot.
That's not a bad idea. As long as you think they'd be happy to meet me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And KTP knows about Nico's background and Kai and all the others, and they're Kai's sisters. They'd love to meet you.
And then this is probably where Nico and KTP start getting really giggly and excited and like, go stay out.
Yeah. We'll go for lunch. We'll do some shopping.
Yeah. Grifter can stay back at the base shooting shit. It's like, good day out for everyone.
at some point, Grifter needs to go out and get ammo because he's been, because that shit's not endless.
He's probably been playing Duck Hunt with Pixelsworth. Now that he's been introduced.
Pixelsworth is a better shot than you are. He also has the benefit of being an AI and literally being the computer.
I mentioned every time Pixelsworth gets a new high score, everybody gets a notification.
Yeah.
EW in the new high score.
It's usually 3 letters, so it's PXW.
Yeah, there you go.
If you play the equivalent of like a Halo game, his avatar in the game looks just like the others in armor, but the dude in the armor is pixelated. Okay. So you head off to meet the twins, Sarah and Amelia. What does Nico tell KTP of who and what they are in the sense, more likely in the business sense? What the hell a talismonger is, what that sort of thing.
So there's magic users like me, shamans, and our magic is pretty much internal. We know spells, we study them, we learn them, we know spells, but it's very internalized. And then there's another group, and they're kind of their book knowledge in a way. They have recipes and they deal with spirits and they do all kind of weird stuff, but you need ingredients. It's just like holds up the bracelet, like my bracelet. It's a focus, and I put my magic into the bracelet. So they sell the stuff that magic users need, whether it's stuff to put magic in or ingredients. Like when I had to do the lodges and I had to get all the ingredients for all of that, I went to Sarah and Amelia. Well, I went to Kai first, but I went to Sarah and Amelia, and that's what they do. They sell that stuff, and they do less. Like they're going to teach me how to do enchanting, so I can do it on my own. I can put spells on grifters' bullets so that they'll do more damage or things like that.
Actually, it's not possible.
No, but I can put a spell on it I can put agony spells on the bullets, and just put a contact trigger on it. So next time it comes in contact with flesh, the spell releases. I've been reading up on it.
We'll see.
Or things like, or I can make like a medallion and put healing in it, so that I don't have to try to cast the spell. The spell's already in there. All I have to do is say a word, and you would be healed. You would get the benefits of healing, stuff like that. But they sell all of this stuff, and they've adopted me.
ATP is probably a little bit mind blowing because obviously this is a whole new world.
Yeah, it's literally a baffling place you never knew.
Mm.
And I always picture like a combination of pawn shop and herbal shop. So there's always little trinkets and different kinds of things, and bits of jewelry, but there's metal wire, and there's abalone shells, and all of these different things, plus all of these dried herbs and little pots of fresh herbs.
ATP, as you all enter the shop, the image that comes to your mind immediately is old school RPG game item shop.
As they're going through, she kind of pulls Nico and kind of whispers to her 2 questions. Is there anything I shouldn't touch? And is there anything I shouldn't say?
Anything that you shouldn't touch is already behind glass. And don't say poppycock.
Okay.
And then the first thing Nico does is ask Amelia and Sarah about making some popcorn with caramel and nuts in it.
They prepare they actually put the sign out for lunch, and basically set up like a whole tea thing for all of you. And Sarah and Amelia, 2 very tall, very muscular, very athletic looking black women. One perfect shaved, completely bald. The other one very long hair in very heavy braids. Kind of a step between an actual braid and what would be a dreadlock. Very, very, just very thick braids. Sarah is the bald one. Amelia is the one with hair. Sarah is just, pouring tea, talking pleasantries. Amelia has her eyes on you and is looking at you with a very curious expression.
So Nico would introduce, this is my friend KTP. She's, I told you about my friends, and this is KTP, and she grabs KTP's arm and bears it along with her arm and shows them the matching tattoos.
Oh.
She goes, that's us. She's the one that worries about me, like you guys do.
So I think Katie would just be like, hi.
Sarah, without missing a beat, pours the tea and she's a technomancer.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part.
I can.
What gave it away? It was the stuff in her arm, right? That's what gave it away.
No, there's an aura. Bit staticky, but there's an aura.
I never noticed.
And Amelia goes, It doesn't say anything. It's a dead stare. I will tell you straight away, it doesn't look unpleasant, not like she's angry or anything. It's like knowing these two, I tell you straight away, Nico, you know she's clocked something that Amelia that Sarah hasn't.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
And Nico would be like, she's she's the one that takes me to the VR Matrix. She took me to this place called Last Bar on the Right. It was really cool. I got to be a cat, and she's oh, what was the other one I was going to say? Oh, I forgot. There was something else that she was going to tell them about KTP.
as long as it's not that she blows people's heads up, that's fine.
No.
Oh yeah, no, that's the first thing. So,
No.
my friend is really dangerous. Don't mess with her; she'll blow your head off.
Oh, I know what it was. So she tells them KTP is about the Last Bar on the Right in the VR Matrix, and then she tells KTP, she goes, "These are the ones that did the mind whammy on Lawrence."
Can does KTP notice that Amelia is?
It's
Fucking
fairly obvious. Yeah,
Then
she's not
I'd
even
say
being subtle. She
in
there
that
is a
case, then-
key. There is a look of. It's a look like it just screams, "Huh, okay."
the social stress is going to kick in because she knows that
You're the center of attention.
yeah.
You are. Yeah, your social anxiety is going to spike right about now.
So Nico can probably feel her tense up.
Nico just makes sure that KTP has a cup of tea and just kind of shoves it at her.
Sarah's just, exchanging presents. We usually don't do the thing we did for that gentleman, but just to put it mildly, he came in and just gave us the heebie-jeebies the way he was asking questions. So we, asked and sent him on his merry way. Make sure, he wouldn't return. And actually, even if he remembers things, he won't remember the store or won't find it. We've kind of made sure that if he comes around, there's a few wards in place that'll make him look the other way.
They're scary in the big protective sister way, like Karis and you are.
Yeah, we learned from our brother.
And there's like that beat of silence between the three of them thinking about Kai before it picks back up.
Amelia just straight up grabs her tea, takes a sip, and says, "So you tried to mix magic and technology. How did that work out for you?" Straight up, just.
Is that what you were doing?
Yeah, because she hasn't told Nico yet. So
I can see the astral lines around you, and they're fritzing you, I'm guessing.
I think at this point she just turned.
For the record, Amelia's sensing is ridiculously high. She has like outstanding astral perception, and she's just seeing all sorts of shit around KTP.
And that's when Nico goes, "Is that why you can't see out of your left eye?"
I think KTP's just been completely caught off guard, so she doesn't know who to look at and what to say. So she just looks down and drinks her tea.
What does your negative quality for anxiety say?
Sorry, say that again.
Your the negative quality you have for the social anxiety. What does it say specifically?
It says charisma. This is the notes I wrote.
Okay.
Charisma, 2 in brackets, tests as a minor action, can't spend edge until succeeds.
Okay. Let me just quickly
Page
look
79. There you go.
Let's look it up real quick. Because I think you might need to make a roll to even be able to interact. Wait a second while the... Which page?
79. I've got down. Let me see if I can.
Here we go.
It's
Right.
game effects. Select a specific social stressor.
Social stress. Here we go.
When encountering it, you must make a Charisma 2 test as a minor
Minor
action. Failure means you can't earn or spend edge until you succeed.
Okay. I will. You know what? In this situation, because it's such a specific stressor, because you have 3 people
Yeah.
around you doing that, I'm gonna have you make that
Totally.
roll. But it's just straight up charisma. I'm gonna make the difficulty slightly higher, and to see if KTP can, not just
It's not going to happen.
earn or gain edge, but also can she respond?
No hits.
Kate, you freeze. Pretty much freeze. I'll say, Nico, it is because it's just no hits. By the way, is any ones on there?
One.
Oh, that's a critical glitch.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, no,
Then.
wait. How many?
5.
5 dice.
5 dice, just one. No, it's not a glitch then. But it is no successes. I think it's you can feel her muscles because you're like grabbing her arm. You can feel the arm just go rock steel hard, just tense, and she just goes rigid.
She takes the china saucer and cup from her hands because don't want to drop that and break it, sets it back down. And I think she kneels next to KTP and just wraps her arms around her and just starts, it's okay. Honest, they're my big sisters. It's okay. They want to help. They'll help you. It's okay. You're safe. You're safe here. She's doing all of that stuff that KTP does for Nico.
Oh.
When Nico does the freak out thing.
Make a roll for Sarah. It goes, Nico, can you and my very subtle sister give us a room for a moment?
Yeah. Sure. Nico will grab her hand and walk out.
You both leave, and Sarah just pats your hand and goes, now they're all gone. You can relax. I know my sister can be a bit overbearing at times and put you on the spot. Just relax, take a sip, eat something, and if you want to talk, we can talk. If you don't, we don't need to talk.
Can I break through the stress to
Yes,
respond now?
I think.
Yeah. Okay.
I think you tell me what this action of getting everybody out, more or less like just isolating you a bit and just giving you the space to, hey, you want to talk, you want to talk. If not, that's fine. Would that get KTP out of that sensation?
Yeah, but I think it would, but she'd be more prone now to saying the wrong thing. So right now she'd probably say something like, your sister is scary, but in a really nice way. Sorry.
No, she's scary. I know. No, don't worry. It's we know. It's kind of the energy we go for. It helps with. You have no idea how good it is for the business to have a scary talismonger. We also care. So
KTP will drink some tea and then probably let out a big sigh, like all the tensions kind of going.
She give me a moment and stands up and goes to there's a little cupboard on the right. She opens it, ruffles through it a bit, and comes back with almost like a small little pouch. And it says, tonight when you go to sleep, put this under your pillow, and it'll help you recover that eye in quicker. To put it in simple terms, it'll accelerate your natural healing.
So I think KTP would stare at it for a moment and then look up, look her in the eye and go, how did I do what I managed to do?
I don't know. Unfortunately, my scary sister is the one that will be able to tell you more about that. If you like, I can go away, just bring her in, just you and her, and you can ask her any question you have.
I think KTP would probably feel more comfortable if Nico was there, if Amelia's there, and not because like she trusts Nico, so these people must be good people. But Amelia is quite
Yeah, she's intense. Yeah,
like an intimidating presence to her. So she'll probably say to Sarah, like tell him it's both okay to come back in.
Sarah leaves. While you're outside, Amelia looks at you and says, I don't care if she. I know Deckers, I know Technomancers, I know Shadowrunners of all kinds. That one is a curious one. If she tries this bullshit again, it's gonna kill her.
Okay, I think I know why she tried it though.
Just saying. And at that point, Sarah comes and says, you can come in.
And Nico is in the middle of telling her about the shared experience that KTP and Nico had with Malcolm and how it was a mixture of the two.
Sarah does stop Amelia and kind of gives her like a stern look, like you're scaring the poor girl. Quit it. And then she, Amelia comes in. Sarah does stay outside to kind of limit the group of people that you're interacting with. And Amelia sits back down to where she was, picks the cup of tea like nothing's happened, and once again it's just looking at you.
So I think under the table, she'd probably like reach for Nico's hand for a bit of reassurance.
Nico would take it. Yeah, Nico would take it. She said you shouldn't do it again.
Yes, I said that.
I think she'd turn to Nico and go, if you are ever in trouble like that again, I wouldn't hesitate. And then she because she's feeling a little bit braver now, she turns to Amelia and just goes, how did I do that?
Have you ever seen a movie or read a book where someone says something very vague, like only those who know where the thing is can find it? Whatever place it is that you two went on the point of this person's death, and however he managed to bring you in, usually in dreams, I'm gonna guess. Dreams there are different liminal spaces, places, just gateways, points of connection. Dreams are powerful, that they can connect anything. You somehow burrowed your way into that place and did a bit of a crossover. I didn't know it was possible. But I'm fairly confident in telling you that it is extremely dangerous, and there's a good chance that the next time you won't wake up. You got off easy. Temporarily blinded. I can see your aura. It's a mess.
Well, KTP knows that she would do it again. If Nico was in that kind of trouble, she wouldn't hesitate, but she'd do it again. Even if that meant that it caused her major harm or death, she just would. Because in her head, that's what you do for family.
Does KTP express that? I think, or
I'd say probably not, but I think Nico knows her well enough that Nico would know that.
Yeah, and I think that's when Nico looks at it. She goes, squeezes her hand. No.
And then KTP says, "Don't tell me you wouldn't do the same for me."
I can't do the same thing for you.
It's not what I meant. If it meant you dying and saving me, you would do it in a heartbeat.
Well, I mean, that can happen anytime I cast a spell.
I'm going to tell you what's going on. Amelia interrupts you both. This is going to take a few days to go away. Until then, you're going to be... You know how in fishing people use nets to drag things and grab them? Right now you're a net. You're going to be dragging all sorts of ghosts and spirits with you wherever you go.
At that, Nico her eyes get huge. And I want to try an astral perception. She wants to see if one of them's big.
Make a roll.
Okay. Let's see, that's magic and astral, right?
And if I know what I'm talking about, even remotely, you're going to be dragging those ghosts with you into your world. 6, you perceive, and usually you can see when you try to sense a KTP's aura, it's like a mild visual glitch around her. That aura is far larger right now. You don't see Vic, but you do see what would be minor spirits of different things, air, fire, even death, things around her. Some that look like people, but the thing is, they look pixelated. They look like digitized in a way. They don't look right.
Yeah, so, and you can see Nico's eyes go, and she looks at it. She focuses back on KTP instead of kind of unfocused, looking at her, and goes, "Don't do it again, ever. Trust me. Don't."
I'll put it this way: if I know half the things I think I know, and I'm right about this, you're about to make the phrase "ghost in the machine" very real. You may already have, so.
That's not good, KTP. It's not good.
I mean, on the one side, I won't lie to you, it's fascinating. It's the first confirmed crossover as far as I know. It is going to kill you if you do it again. I mean, if things work the way I think they do, next time you're going for the big sleep. If you're lucky, you'll come out and something bad is going to happen. Having said so, and you see there's a kind of like a glint in her eye, I'm all about pushing the boundaries. So I would be open, and I know Nico will disagree and my sister will disagree, but under a controlled and supervised environment, I would be delighted in helping you kill yourself.
What's Nico's reaction at that?
Only if I can provide a safety net.
I will be taking care of that.
Then I have to be with her.
That's your choice.
Wow. out of character. I didn't realize that that was going to happen.
Out of character. The system doesn't support this. This is not something you can do. Magic and technology do not mix. In the character creation, you cannot have resonance and magic. It's not done. But I am a sucker for the rule of cool. And I did in a dream sequence establish that you kind of met in a liminal space together. So if you used my shit against me, I can't say no.
It wasn't using it against you. It was just taking something cool and running with it.
And so I went with it. And so now we find ourselves in this brand new world where the Technomancer went magical, and we'll have to deal with the consequences of how that works.
Excuse me.
Nika's already making plans as to what kind of rituals she can cast that will help protect ATP.
Sarah, at that point, Sarah, who's been more or less listening at the door, is like, no, wait. What are we talking about here? And if we're going to do this, can we do it off-site? I don't want another body in my shop. Anyone okay with that?
Okay. We can't do it at our place, though.
By the way, Nico, with your 6, you don't see Vic among the ghosts with KTP. But you do feel almost like a part of him, like a presence of him lingering around you. It's not negative. It's not positive. It's just like a memory. Because Vic is a big, important part of your life for good or ill. That kind of connection, that's what you feel like lingering around you.
Does she get the sense that it's going to fade, or that
I have
it's
no
pretty much
idea.
there? Okay.
I have no idea.
Mental note to check with Amelia afterwards. At some point. Because she did tell them about sensing him while she was in the panic state. And that she thought he was gone because she saw him get sucked in, and then the thing exploded. And
Is she sad about that?
conflicted. Again, for good or ill, he was a major part of her life for 20 odd years.
In a way, it's a ghost she's going to carry forever.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, well, I'm going to leave that to your choice. You decide what you want to do. I can provide some safety net from our side of the business. I would recommend you find your own, let's call it chaperone, from your side of the business. And, if we can somehow provide a little net for you, that will help you, if you're going to die spectacularly, it'll at least give us a countdown and we can duck for cover. And it helps that if you do somehow manage to succeed again, we may be able to study the phenomenon up until the point you expire. If it sounds like I'm thinking you're going to die inevitably, have I mentioned these things don't usually combine? This is oil and water, and you created oil juice. You managed to mix them.
So he goes, but it happened, and I want to understand why.
Why? You were in a very etherically charged place. You were desperate, and you already had the knowledge or the experience of being in a point that combines both places. Just, again, a dreamscape, I'm going to call it. And somehow you managed to, open the door. Desperation does a lot. Fear does a lot.
So what you're saying is, if we were in a similar situation again in the future, it could happen again.
For the record, this did not just happen. You made this happen. You willingly took this step.
Yeah.
Just for the record, this is not something that just can happen again.
No,
you
but
can
they
potentially make it happen
that,
again.
though. That's the thing. Nobody knows that. Only KTP knows that she tried to force it to happen.
It's fairly obvious for anyone involved because it's just not possible. So the only from Amir's point of view, from what she's sensing, it is perfectly obvious that it's intent, because you've already had the conversation of if we're in a situation again, I'm just gonna do it. So there's intent in what she's reading from you. If this was just something that happened, we would have more cases. We don't. I have never read of this. I never heard of it. I have never heard anyone boast of this. And trust me, Shadowrunners can't shut up about the things they can do.
Hey.
Seriously?
And it's probably the first kind of like positive emotion expression of that hasn't been rather flat that KTP's seen from Nico in the last 4 days or so.
So, again, you somehow made this happen. How? I mean, if you're willing to go and try to crack open this door again, we can study the how and why. But warning, just want to put the big warning sign here, big red warning. If it backfires, you're gone. And I might just draft up a waiver just to, if the cops find me with your body, they're not going to put me in jail because, you knew what you were doing.
We should have gotten one of those from before they blew up the police station.
They both look at you like, sorry, what?
Oh, just it's a long story.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with it. We're going to talk about that one eventually.
I had nothing to do with it.
Uh-huh. Sure enough. We're not going to pressure you. This is your call, both of you. If you truly want to try this again, because we care, we can offer, some measure of control from our end and try to keep you from your head exploding or something.
Oh, she's done that too.
We're not gonna. And Sarah goes, I'm ignoring that one for now. That is not important. I would still ask that you get someone from your side of the business to try to provide the same thing. But I'm the first to admit that I know somewhere between jack and shit about the Matrix stuff. Aside from the rig I have for entertainment purposes only. And the cyber deck I occasionally use for business. nothing important. Because here's the thing: you cannot be a technomancer and a caster, but no one said you can't be a decker and a caster. Just a great combo, by the way. Oh, I will say it's up to you. But for now, just enjoy your tea. Sarah goes, use the little pouch under the pillow. It'll help you out. And after that, if you decide that you want to go this way, we'll figure it out.
So KTP turns to Nico and says, let's get this next job done and then we'll figure it out. But
Okay.
she's got what she needed from this. She knows that if Nico was in such a bad situation again, she could do it and potentially save Nico at the cost of her life. So that's kind of, in a weird kind of way, that's given her some kind of comfort and makes her feel that the eye thing was worth it. So like, it's kind of like what they call it, like I can't think of what the word is, but like a last ditch attempt if she ever needed it.
Yeah. And Nico will take KTP's hands, both of her hands in hers, and she will put her forehead to KTP's. She goes, you have to tell Karis before you try again.
If we try again.
I am going to, because we're already here, so in for a penny, in for a pound. KTP, if you're willing to spend a point of edge, I will allow you to make a very particular roll.
Okay.
The roll will be a willpower and intuition roll.
Yeah, okay. Hang on.
Spend one edge and make that roll for me.
You want to do it over there?
Yeah.
A bit more. Less cat that way.
That's 4.
You're looking at Nico and gazing around, and your left eye suddenly begins to hurt. Like burn, and you kind of blink out. And Nico, you notice that she kind of bleeds a bit out of like the tear duct. But you can clearly see it's a bit fuzzy, and it looks almost slightly pixelated to you. But you can see the Firebringer behind Nico, a big dude in like a toga in flames. And you can see the Salamander and the Phoenix behind Amelia and Sarah. You can see their spirits. Their spirit, for example, the Salamander is like resting on Sarah's shoulder, and the bird, like the Phoenix-like bird, is sitting on like the chair back behind Amelia. And the people are just talking. The spirits immediately look at you, KTP. Like they kind of notice that you clock them, and they look at you, and then they slowly kind of fade out of your view. But your eyes throbbing.
Nico's taking a napkin and just kind of cleaned up the blood.
I said, in for a penny, in for a pound. We're in this world. We're gonna go with this. May I say though, for everyone watching, when I did the whole Malcolm thing, it was meant to be like a pretty moment, just this last meeting between them, just emotional. I did not expect that we would end up here.
You gave us the content to work with. What can I say?
I mean, I'm gonna
Planted
get
the seed.
the Shadowrun purists are gonna come after me.
Tell them to go read the book.
Yeah.
That keep her busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, find a reference in the book. Go.
And then explain essence.
It only took 5 reprintings for them to add it. Okay. So you have just seen what looked like just a dude in a toga lit on fire, and a giant fiery fucking iguana and kind of flaming bird. There's a whole lot of fire in this room, but they're gone now. But they seem to have somehow noticed you were watching and turned to look at you for a moment. And when Nico kind of dabs your cheek, you notice that you were bleeding. I'll leave it to you.
Sorry, I've got like cat hair in my throat.
It's an offering to the RP gods.
Terrible.
She won't stop sticking in the dice tray, so everything's covered in fur. So yeah, so Nico's dabbing at her eye. She notices the blood. So she apologizes to Nico and then takes the tissue from her and tries to clean herself up.
The others don't seem to. I mean, Amelia is not giving you a look. No one is seeing or saying anything that might seem like they know what just happened to you, or even if they noticed. So for the most part, it's just pleasantries from there. They've said their piece. Now it's up to you, and now it's just getting to know each other.
And before they leave, Nico will make sure that she schedules her first lesson with them.
They just tell give us a call when you're free, and we'll set it up.
Yep. Okay. I think she may just arrange with it within the next day or two to come over and spend a couple hours with them.
Perfect. And you all return to the base. What's going on through KTP's head at this moment?
Like I said, there's some kind of element of relief because previously she thought that if Nico was ever in, forgive the phrase, but like a magic battle, that was like Nico's world and there wouldn't be much that she or Grifter could do ultimately. But now she feels like she's got some kind of, not control over it, but she'd have some kind of influence on it. So I think the thing is that you have to understand that in some ways she's kind of not at peace with her death, but she's put her consciousness on a server. Like she's
Which,
done
by the
this.
way, no one knows about this one.
No, Nico knows that even if it happens to her, to go into her room and say the password.
Yeah, she knows that. She doesn't know that there is a full KTP copy loaded up on a computer.
But then maybe that's where kind of the disconnect between Nico's response to it and KTP's response is. Like Nico sees this as KTP's going to do it again, she's going to die. KTP sees it as I'm going to do it again if I need to save Nico. Nico will live, and technically I will too. So maybe that's kind of where that sort of disconnect between
KTP. She's already reached that point where everything is data, and she has backed up her data.
Yeah. So sorry. I think she's feeling like a little bit more in control of the situation, I think. Sorry, Kat, were you going to say something?
I was just gonna say, and KTP is probably pretty sure that I think and they've had that talk, I think, where Nico has said, look, if it happens to me, it happens. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
She's come really, really, really close twice now in a very short period of time. And it doesn't bother her. It's other things that bother her, not that. It's like, if it happens, it happens. She didn't, Nico never expected to live very long anyway, so.
By the way, before you left, did Nico want to talk to Amelia about the whole Vic thing, or leaving it for another day?
I think I think she would, while KTP and Sarah are talking, she would kind of pull Amelia away.
We can cover that. So you pull
Okay.
her away, and she said, yes, is there something the matter, aside from, your friend doing the impossible?
Well, while she was doing the impossible, Vic was there and sitting next to me.
What did he say?
Well, given that I was pretty much in a fugue state with panic and fear, he was telling me to get off my ass and go kick ass. And then that thing sucked him in. And then it exploded. And all of these spirits, I don't remember if I saw him specifically when it exploded, but all of these spirits just came out of him, out of this thing. And I don't know.
Says, can you stand still and let me do my thing for a moment?
Okay.
She looks you over and you see her eyes glow for a moment as she's looking you over and says, we knew the house was bad. Tell me, how bad was it just being in there?
I'm having nightmares. I thought I was going to go insane. I was sure I was going to die. I was sure we were all going to die. If I had to go again, I'd walk away. I don't know if he was there before or if he came with me. I don't know why. That kind of bothers me. I thought he was gone.
Here's the thing. I think because I think we've talked about it, and I found we found some guy's journals, and he had written about it, that there was a vibe in the air in the city that, bad things were kind of accumulating.
Yeah, I'd run into this thing before a couple of times.
And it was there in this house.
It was the reason for the house. That miasma, that fog around Whitechapel, all that, it all came from it. It was, so every bad thing in the city, that's what it was.
I can tell you, what are you taking us to then? I can tell you one thing. One, the moment you were done with the house, both my sister and I just breathed a sigh of relief, as if a weight was just taken off us. And the city feels cleaner. a bit. I mean, it's still London, but it is cleaner in a way. So whatever whatever was concentrated there is gone now. The only thing I can tell you is I don't see a spirit around you. I don't see a ghost that you're dragging on. What I think happened, and I mean, the rest is for you to deal with, is that you were in a very bad place, and it dragged some of your something that's or someone connected to you in the worst possible ways was pulled there to try to harm you or use against you. But even in death, people are complicated. Or the thing was weakened and another aspect of this came up. Whoever this person was, they're gone. You just bonds between people, they live threads. They live a little string here and there. You may have a few lingering ones and just burned one out. You may eventually find other ones and burn those out too, or you just won't notice them ever again. But let's just say you were in a magically charged place, in a very bad place, and you somehow pulled someone who is, or the memory or the presence of someone who has been in the worst parts of your life to that location. It's not a surprise.
Yeah.
Interesting, though, that for someone who, as far as I know, you have a lot of lost love and a lot of anger and, well, animosity, they would show up to support you. It's curious.
Yeah, that was. I kind of think the bad parts went away when he died, and that's what was left over.
It could also be that you held on to the good bits.
Yeah, I think that would be the best.
Don't worry about it. You don't have anyone following you other than the big guy in flames, but for that one I'm assuming consent.
Yeah. Flames kind of become a thing. She laughs.
I mean, have you seen My Sister and My Spirits? I mean,
Yeah.
It's a theme.
It's a thing.
Let's go.
Okay.
And at that point, Sarah comes in and brings you up
Yep.
during that before that conversation. And so you both return home. What has the Grifter been up to? Shooting things?
Yeah, I suppose for a bit he was.
Watching TV with Dr. Watson and Karis?
Probably got bored. Maybe went out. Maybe went out for a drive in the new vehicle. Sort of no destination particularly in mind, driving round.
So it's just Grifter and his thoughts.
Yeah.
What are those thoughts? What is Grifter?
And maybe he finds himself pulling up outside Miranda's house or flat apartment.
Sure. You go there and, of course it's the place has a big for sale sign, and you actually come in, and it's like an open house. People are being shown the place for buying it.
There's no personal belongings there anymore, no furniture or anything.
There are some furniture left. I mean, some stuff, personal effects and such, by interested parties, likely have been removed. But if you go in, it's like the furniture. A lot of the furniture is there because it's just furniture, and hell, it's very the apartment is very well decorated, so it just helps drive up the price. But it's just a flat. Like if there is anything to be found, you don't see it just outright. There's no sign saying press here for hidden weapons. And whatever that was there, that was in connection to the work she did with certain corporations, you can, even if you don't check, you're fairly certain a cleaning crew has already been through this place.
Yeah.
And taken whatever. Like her computer is gone. That sort of stuff is completely, removed. It is frankly a great apartment, though. Very good location in London. So of course, when you see that the price for it is something around the 600K mark, you're not exactly surprised.
So there's other people looking at the place at the moment.
There's a few couples, just some, and also similar to like Miranda, people in the, corporate world, trying to find a good place in the city to work from, or to live and then commute to work.
Yeah.
And it is a fair. I mean, you went there before just as a visit, but this time you have a chance of looking around, and it's a pretty great neighborhood. You have, some very artisanal places nearby, a lot of like entertainment and such. It's a very good place to live.
Okay. So obviously within,
I will tell you, in a way, it's that sample of the legit life that is so alien to Grifter.
Yeah. So he, can tell within an instant that there's nothing there. Not that he really expected to find anything, but sort of walks around, makes it look like he's, he plays the game. But while I'm in there, I'm sort of clocking the people that are looking around to see if there's anyone that kind of looks planted or fake or in any way.
Make an intuition and perception.
Oh, that's a waste of time.
I mean, you've been rolling that fairly well recently.
You got one earlier on this test.
I mean, that was for reading people. That's not his strong suit.
Oh, I got three.
Okay. A lot of people, as I mentioned, are fairly legit. They're acting. If someone arouses your suspicion, one, the real estate person, the way they move is wrong. Like the body language tells you more someone in your line of business. Like there's a readiness there to fight, rather than the usual, because it's not. They don't appear to. They don't have the body language of a seller who's very more keen and excited and getting you involved. They're very much more detached, and as you come in, it's a woman, and she just has her eye on you as you walk around the place, and you kind of get it's the kind of attitude that in her body language, you kind of sense a shiver down your spine, like you're being observed, like if someone is trying to catalog you as a threat or not. That's the thing. Other than that, the rest of the people, no, they're just folks looking for a good apartment.
Okay. So I guess do the rounds, in look room to room to room, make it look like I'm genuinely looking at an apartment, and then I guess I walk out the front door, sort of clock the people in the streets, and is there anything unusual there?
I'll tell you, with the 3 you got, there's someone in a cafe across the street, and a bakery like almost just a few feet down the street. That though they're trying to be subtle, they are looking at the property. And yeah, they definitely look like professionals.
Hmm. Um, so Grifter will walk back to the car, which I'm assuming is parked pretty close to the apartment. And as he gets to the car, instead of stopping to get in or unlock, he's just going to walk past it and sort of round the corner and just to see if anybody's following or
No one's following you.
no one's following.
I'll tell you, with that 3 roll, because in terms of awareness, you realize that as you kind of notice that no one's following you, you kind of realize it's for one thing only. You came in, you watched the place and left, and you didn't ask any questions about the previous owner or anything. You didn't show interest in Miranda at all.
Yeah.
You realize these people watching likely are waiting for someone to come in and ask the wrong questions.
Yeah. So I keep walking, walk around the block, come back on myself, and I'll go into the bakery where the 2 people were obviously not being careful. And I'll go to the counter, buy some stuff, and do my best to sort of earwig, see if I can pick up anything from them.
Let's make this another roll.
Same again.
Yep, same again.
Only 2 that time.
On the way out, you hear the one you clocked is like drinking a coffee and looking around, and then putting the cup down and grabbing like a cookie. But so you take a bite, chew, and then kind of like bring it up, and you clearly can see they're kind of talking to the cuff. It's very well hidden, but you kind of know what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And they say all clear, no sign of Marcus. And then they go back to eating their coffee, drinking the coffee and eating the cookie.
So now I will go back to the car, get in the car. How long were KTP and Nico away for?
I would say a couple of hours.
Okay, so I've got some time.
Yeah, you got time.
So,
besides, it's not like so they're gonna just get home and go, "What the fuck are you?"
No, well, yeah. So I'm just going to chill in the car for a little while, and see if anything occurs. Anything.
Okay. Are you within eyesight of the property and the people
Yeah,
watching.
I would say, yeah, I'm quite a way away, like down the street, but I would
Yeah,
say,
you do have your enhanced eyes.
and I
true.
do have my enhanced vision, so that would help.
You don't see any sign that there's movement. Eventually, you do see some people come in and like take over. Like the people who are sitting at the bakery, the cafe, and everything, they get up, leave, and then someone comes in and sits at the exact same table and orders the same thing. And once again, it's just kind of casually looking towards the property.
All right, can I follow the people that have left that have been,
Oh, let's make that let's make it agility and stealth.
Oh, give me a cat. What are the chances you're going to get out of that dice tray for me? No, none.
I'm gonna roll the opposed perception roll.
Four.
You follow a bit with the car very slowly, taking some side roads and everything, and you see them walk, taking different routes, but eventually they all kind of meet about 3 blocks afterwards. Kind of talk a bit amongst each other. There's like 3 people. They walk to a black SUV that kind of comes their way and get on it and drive away. You can see the easily see the license plate on it. Want to continue following them?
Yeah, so I'll follow the black SUV. Yeah.
I'm gonna need one more stealth roll from you.
Just stealth, yeah?
Agility and stealth.
Agility and stealth.
I'm gonna roll
Wasn't that great?
Or again.
um they you see them take continue driving. I'm gonna have you make an intuition and perception roll. I'm gonna make the difficulty for this. Actually, let me make a roll.
I have a 3.
They just seem to be driving ahead, just following the road. They eventually turn into a small like garage, like like place with a parking spot, and park there, and start getting out of the car.
And what's around? What is it like?
There's an office building, very nondescript office building.
Can I ask a question out of character? Why did Grifter decide to go to Miranda's?
He
house?
doesn't really know. He just kind of found
okay.
himself there.
There. All right. I'm just wondering.
So I'm going to carry on driving, but as as I drive past them, I slow a little bit to look, but then, not stupidly slow, that, curb crawling slow, but just slow down and then drive off, taking note of where I am, address, blah, blah, blah. And head back home, I guess.
Make one more intuition and perception.
Yeah, see, I figured that was going to happen, right? 2.
Good, because I rolled 1 hit.
Oh,
You are driving back, and you're taking your route, and then you moment look at the rearview mirror, and the black SUV is following you now. You know it's the one because you can see the 3 guys in the SUV.
okay, so I'm going to do the typical take a right, take a left, take a right. Absolutely.
There's going to be a
double-check.
post drive checks, pilot checks.
Right.
It's only
Okay.
pilot against theirs.
I don't have piloting.
Did you get 1 rank in this?
Well, no, I was going to get it, weren't I? But you said I could only do it every now and again.
No, I exactly. If you do it between sessions, just do it.
So, I mean, I guess by now I'd have, that was 3 sessions ago.
Yeah.
So, say I've got 3 points in piloting.
Yeah, let's do 3 then. Agility and piloting versus theirs. See if you can lose the tail.
Into a time.
We got 4.
Or you lose them. You take a few turns, get through an alley, move move in between businesses, do the Grand Theft Auto thing of stopping in a garage, change the color of the car.
Yeah.
And all the stars disappear and you're not being followed. And you can go, you look over the rear mirror a few times, no one's following you. So you've completely lost them.
So I'll go back to the base then. No, safe in the knowledge I'm not being followed, then I'll go back to.
You return home, and let's say, because it's dramatically appropriate, KTP and Nico, you have arrived just minutes before.
Beer run.
Oh, and Chinese too.
There's no Chinese and no beers when Grifter comes out of the car.
You have a good afternoon.
Well, worse now that you don't have Chinese and beer.
No one asked me to get Chinese and beer.
Do we have to ask?
Well, if you're hungry and thirsty, yes. Turns around, gets back into car, goes to get Chinese and beer.
You get Chinese and beer.
There we go. Look, ask and you shall receive.
Oh, nice family meal around the table.
You do. Is this gonna be like a dinner in just uncomfortable silence?
No, I don't think. I think it's just everybody's ignoring everything else and just doing the small talk thing that we do. Just kind of.
Nothing's happening. Nothing has happened. Everything is fine.
Yeah.
It's absolutely
So
fine.
Grifter
Yeah.
doesn't tell us about.
No, but I haven't done anything
No,
wrong.
no,
have I?
but I'm just saying that you don't tell us about your visit to Maria.
No.
Alright.
Well,
We
I
don't
don't-
ask. And you don't ask
Yeah.
where we were.
But
And
I don't think Grifter even knows exactly why he went there,
Yeah.
other than complicated feelings towards someone who actually flirted with him and
was
whose
definitely
head
right.
was
Flirt with him
blown
once,
up
he's yours
in
for
a
life.
horrific way in front of him.
Yeah.
So I guess will the talk around the dinner table eventually get to the casino stuff, or are we not?
I'm going to ask a question, and this is more morbid GM curiosity. Grifter is used to death. He's used to people dying, just, getting shot, heads blown up, whatever.
Yeah.
Did Miranda's death shock him or have an impact on him in any way?
No. The only thing he was worried about, bothers him, is Miranda had a link to the orphanage with him, and it's not until he saw her that he kind of, oh, there was that thing that we both involved in back then, and obviously now, well, she did. So it's gone. But I think he was, so it's just something he could have looked into through that person because they had experienced it too. Whereas now, that's gone. That's all.
Grifter's head is a bunch of banker boxes where everything is compartmentalized.
Yeah, yeah.
And then that's kind of what it was. So I think he was going back there to see if there was anything there that might have, I don't know, give him links to that. But obviously it's all been cleared out. It's all gone. So, and obviously there's some snidey military or whatever company trying to find Marcus. But, I don't know if I want to get involved with that.
That would be my question: is does Grifter contact Marcus and give him a heads up?
No, that's a good.
That's it, because technically Marcus is also a similar position to Miranda. Only perhaps more psychotic.
Yeah, and I definitely got threatened, but when I didn't take the job. So no, I'm not going to call him.
That's a choice. Good. And so does anyone bring up the casino in this lovely family dinner?
Is there an atmosphere?
I mean, there is oxygen and concentration of oxygen and nitrogen in the air, so there is an atmosphere.
Nika's pulled out the coin and is absolutely playing with it again, because this is something that she's kind of developed over the last couple of days.
I would say, yeah. Aside from that, I would say you're all just, unless you're just doing small talk, but no one's talking about anything. I would say important. Like, are Nico and KTB mentioning the whole? We're gonna try to do some magic, some techno magic. Blow ourselves up, or is that being kept on the wraps for now?
Like for KTP, I think it would depend on whether she sensed that people around the table were keeping something, because Sphere's not with them any longer, but Sphere kind of gave them a good talking to about not being honest with each other and not working together. So I think that if she sensed that there was something amiss, she'd probably kind of be like, right, we all need to kind of have a chat. If she didn't sense that,
I will ask this question then. Grifter.
Mm-hmm.
What is Grifter's demeanor at the moment? Does he look, because when he went for the drive, I would say perhaps Grifter was a bit troubled or like in his own head. Is that still the case? Is this still kind of there in Grifter world in a way that might be noticeable to those at the table?
No, I think he because he wasn't like deeply troubled, So I think he's quite able to switch that off now and be himself. So, and he's not going to tell, he didn't get into any trouble. There was nothing untoward that happened. He hadn't dropped a massive clanger or anything. He managed to get away with it without
time.
dragging the whole.
Yeah, I don't think Grifter wants to open that door.
Exactly. So he's not going to, he's just Grifter.
In that case, I would say from Grifter, no. Okay, Nico, you did open up to Amelia about your nightmares and everything.
Mm.
And you're playing with that coin. Is it? And for these, this is just you guys tell me. I'm not gonna make you roll. Is it clear for the people at the table to see that there is definitely something on your mind,
Yeah.
or that you're
Nico,
hiding something?
I don't think she's hiding anything, but she's definitely a little quieter than usual, a little more pensive. She's flipped the coin, she follows it, catches it. She makes the coin disappear and just without saying anything reaches and pulls it out of Grifter's ear. She's just she's playing, but she's quiet. She's doing this without talking. She's not her normal bubbly self.
Now, if I flip the view on KTP, is KTP at this moment thinking or feeling anything, and is it visible or perceivable to those around her that she is definitely has things on her mind that she might not be saying?
Well, I think she probably thinks that Nico already knows what she's got planned if it was needed. But I guess the eye thing was probably still bothering her. So they'd certainly noticed this physical discomfort, I think.
Then I would say with that, at least from your point of view, KDP, there is definitely something in the air.
Oh, in that case, then I'd be like, right, everyone out of it. We need to have a talk.
About
would we know? Oh, yeah, because Grifter's been out, he arrived back in the car. So she would say, well, she'd point at Grifter and go, well, you need to tell us where you were today. She'd point at Nico and go, you need to tell us what's on your mind. The whole coin thing, something's happening. And she points at herself and goes, and I need to let you guys know what's going on with the eye.
Well, I mean, I kind of know what's going on with your eye.
So she ignores that and goes, who wants to go first?
Grifter's he ain't gonna tell me the truth, is he? He's I was bored. Everybody had gone, so I went out for a drive.
It'll be a charisma and con roll, my man.
Exactly.
Oh,
But I knew that was going to happen.
You had to open your mouth.
Every bloody time.
And what are we rolling against?
Intuition and perception to
I
catch
knew he was
the
going to do
lie.
it. I knew he was going to do it.
All sixes. Oh, you can't re-roll it. Just
They were on the edge. I can't tell what they are. The cat is sitting in the dice tray, so we're rolling on the sofa. You got 2.
I got 2.
Okay, so people roll once. Just
Sorry, what were we rolling? Perception and
intuition and perception. Yeah. Someone please roll a glitch or
off.
something. So you wildly misinterpret.
5. Out of 8 dice.
Only 3 for me.
Sorry, my friend, but you are an open book. There's a twitch in your voice. There's a shifty look away. Look at your gaze lingers on the car a bit too much.
Nico just looks at him. She goes, "Look, I don't drive, and even I know nobody just goes for a drive in London when they're bored. Because why? I could see if you were riding the subway because people watching. But so where'd you go? Who'd you see?"
I think Katie Fee's just sitting back because she knows Nico will get it out of him, so she's just got this wry smile on her face.
No, I was just bored, so I just I got in the car. I quite like the car. It's a new.
And where'd you end up?
Just about nowhere particularly special. I was just driving.
You're digging a hole for yourself, my man.
So nowhere
just with the difference
special.
of roles. For Nico, it's just lie after lie after lie.
She's gonna get you back.
She's just sitting there going, "You're gonna tell me." So I mean, who was it?
I swung by Miranda's place.
Why?
I don't know, really. I
So
just kind of.
KTP gets up and cuffs him around the back of the head and just goes, idiot.
And she looks at him, she goes, laying ghosts to rest.
I don't know. I just found myself there, and I just the house is for sale. It was open house. I was able to just go in and have a look, and there was nothing there. It's not her house anymore, right? They've taken all her stuff. Although there are a bunch of guys that have got it under surveillance, and they're looking for people, but.
Looking for people like
I
you?
don't know. So maybe some people.
Since this is a different topic, it's going to be another charisma con.
Would you like to do this?
Lie by omission is a lie still.
2.
Got 2 again.
Okay, hold
You
on.
need to buy off that negative quality and allow yourself to use edge.
3.
3. Not as clear as before, because before was, you could read him
like a book. Yeah.
He was literally the kid going, "I did nothing."
I did not.
But no, he I would say, again, there is a pause, and he goes, "No one." Grifter knows more than what he's telling.
Look, I'll tell you what. So KTP and I went to Sarah and Amelia's house, place. My friends, the Talismongers, right? And we were talking about ghosts and shit like that, and laying some ghosts to rest. And it sounds like you were doing the same thing, but maybe you ran into some non-ghosts.
And then KTV goes, "We'll tell you ours if you tell us yours."
No.
Oh no, I already told mine.
I didn't do any.
You didn't.
I believe whatever the agency is, I don't know who it was that had the place under surveillance, but I think they were looking for Marcus. So, but there was no.
So are you gonna tell him Marcus? Because he was like, I mean,
dude's an arsehole. You threatened to kill me.
I mean, but he's the one that killed Miranda too, right? I thought you had a thing with her.
Well, it was going that way. I would never have said I had a thing. I mean, she stabbed me, right?
Oh, yeah, that's love.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe that's her love language. Was her love language?
Well, we'll never know, will we? But
well, I mean, yours is shooting people, so.
She, she was a psychopath. Yeah. So anyway, that's that. I did nothing more. I haven't shot anyone or done anything stupid. I've been very low key. It's all good.
That is true.
Okay. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Does Nico believe him?
In the way that we've already established that Grifter can compartmentalize whatever he's feeling and just shove it into the back of his mind. Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah. Nico looks at him. She goes, you have to deal with their ghosts at some point.
I think it's obvious to both KDP and Nico that Grifter would be a gold mine for a therapist. There is so much there to bring up and make him just end up the therapy session crying. But until that actually happens, he is going to continue to very unhealthily just shove things down the back of his mind.
Yeah. Nico and Grifter in therapy would just make somebody rich.
Yeah. There's someone who's like, these are my cash cows.
Yeah. I'm getting a boat. I'm getting a bigger boat.
I know I need to work on healing them, but I think along the way I can buy 3 houses.
Yeah.
So Grifter just goes, so are we going to move forward with the
Yeah,
casino?
we haven't finished talking yet.
Trying to change the subject. See, that's what I was doing.
Nico
No.
will get up and she'll hug Grifter and she'll go, it's okay, but you still have to deal with it at some point because otherwise it's going to get you. Trust me, I know. That's why I cast a silent spell on myself every night. And then she lets go of him and goes back down.
Just drops that nugget of information there like nothing.
Yeah, he's not going to say anything about the silent. No, he's not. He's not going to say anything.
No.
But he noted it was said, but he's not going to say anything.
Yeah.
Oh, KTP says something about it. But this is honesty talk. Like, it's all
Yeah.
coming out.
I mean, Nico remembers that conversation where she and Grifter connected, and she's trying to let him know, I know what you're going through. I know what that's like.
The problem is Grifter doesn't know what he's going through
Right.
or hasn't acknowledged it in any way.
I'm sure he will do in given time.
And beer.
And alcohol.
And
That one,
alcohol.
alcohol, yes, alcohol.
Cheers. Hashtag day drinking.
It's our tagline: Shadowrun up in smoke for all your day drinking needs.
You need
So-
Therapa when you have TTRPGs.
So does KDP say anything about the silence spell?
Yeah. She does.
Okay,
So,
well, go ahead.
trying to think how she would broach the subject.
Would it be a case of, wait, hold up, silence spell?
Yeah.
It was disturbing Dr. Watson's sleep.
And why would Dr. Watson's sleep be disturbed?
Because I was screaming. Apparently. When I could manage to close my eyes.
So I think at this point, KTP would get up and go sit next to Nico and put her arm around her. And then when noticing that Grifter hasn't moved or done anything, kind of giving him daggers. Like,
It's just nightmares.
Would Grifter
It's-
recognize the social cue?
He's a bit rabbit in the headlights. What?
so
It's-
like KTP's just like wide-eyed, like daggers, like trying to like
Yeah. And Nico's just she's locking eyes with Grifter and she goes, it's the nightmares. Sometimes you get a little loud.
Oh. Well, if you can't sleep, you can always come and hang out with me. We'll
play some duck hunt.
That's all. It's just the nightmares.
You want to tell us what those nightmares are about?
No. I try to forget them when I'm awake.
And you think that's the best way to work through it?
Yeah. And again, all of this is going on with she's locked eyes with Grifter because she knows he does the same thing. He's having his own nightmares, and she recognizes that whole yeah, you mean we've seen that.
Trauma game recognizes game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Is that all we're
just-
going to get out of Nico?
It's just they're a little more frequent right now.
Oh, Katie P's just going to go for it and just go because of Vic, because she obviously saw
Not
stuff.
just I mean, he's a part of it. He's always a part of it. But that was the thing that killed Kai, that burned him to ash. That left what was left of his body that I found. Kai was the one that Vic didn't get to, and that thing killed him. They go away eventually. Get less frequent.
I think like Katie P probably wants to say something to comfort Nico, but doesn't really know how. Because like I think in her head, that thing is gone. Like they got rid of that thing. So she doesn't understand why that's not providing Nico with some comfort.
And again, this is a cycle thing for Nico. She's very kind of almost matter of fact about it.
Yeah.
She doesn't hide it the way Grifter does, but there's a very kind of it's very matter of fact. This is what happens. This is the way life is. You deal with it. It happens, and then you move on, and it's just life.
Yeah, it's just there's always going to be that difference between them.
Yeah.
Like the difference in experiences. So there's going to be some stuff that one goes through that the other doesn't quite understand. So I think this is like one of them things like in KTP's head, it's over, it's done. The bad thing is gone. But obviously she didn't have any of that other experience with it or those ties to it. So she's kind of struggling to know what to say. Because she knows that saying, but the bad thing's gone is not going to make it better.
Yeah.
And so I think she's probably giving Grifter daggers again because she knows that there's this connection now between Nico and Grifter's more likely to understand. And Grifter's not doing anything.
And Nico's trying to actually kind of reassure KTP, like, it's okay. This is just the way it is. And, I think she kind of, she hugs KTP. She goes, it's okay. It'll get better. Just right now, they're a little worse than usual. And I don't want to wake anybody up. And then she looks at Grift and she goes, I'm probably going to take you up on that at some point in time.
That's fine. I wouldn't have offered it if I didn't mean it.
Okay. And now I was going to ask about the eye. Now I was going to ask about the eye thing. KTP's kind of feeling a bit left out. Like everyone's sharing. It's like, I haven't had my go.
Know about the eye.
How is the eye?
So I think like just to kind of make it clear, because obviously a lot happened at the house and they've all been recovering in the next few days. She kind of explains what she saw or like what she tried to do, what she saw, what happened, and then tells Grifter about the conversation with Sarah and Amelia and this offer. But obviously the impending doom if she does do it.
And I saw him. That's this, and she's kind of doing this around KTP. She goes, that's not good.
It's not.
It's not good. You and me, we carry our ghosts in here. She's carrying ghosts like around her.
Right. It's really that dangerous, is it, to do it again?
She'll die.
What? Definitely.
yeah, she'll die. Even with every safety precaution there.
Like KTP leans over to Grifter, pats him on the knee, winks at him and go, I'll leave you my computer. But she's trying to make light of the situation.
And Nico's dead serious. There's just, this is flat out the truth. She does it again, she'll die. Doesn't matter what conditions it's under, whether it's supported and protected or under what happened in the house.
But they don't know you're gonna die.
No, she's gonna die.
And you're thinking about doing this again, are you?
Not necessarily,
Oh,
but
right.
if it boils down to it and I needed to do it again to save either of you two, then yeah, I'd do it.
Well, you don't need to save me, do you?
Yeah, we do.
He taps on his holster.
Nico looks at you, she goes, if I'm still conscious and you need healing, yeah.
KTP cuffs Grifter around the back of the head again and goes, oh, for God's sake, it's all right to be vulnerable and lonely occasionally.
It's all getting a bit touchy-feely again. And he's like, oh, I'm not. So Grifter sort of stands up.
So at this point, KTP looks at Nico, clocks eyes, they both get up, group hug, just to make him feel even more awkward.
Yeah, okay. This is one big happy family. Yes. Great. Everybody just sit down.
So now that we've all been open and honest with each other, why don't we scoff some more noodles and beer and then get ready to get some rest and we'll talk about this next job.
Sounds good.
As you continue to eat the meal and leave the job discussion and what you're going to do for next, both Nico and KTP, you get a ping on your comm. And it's from the same person. It's from Pixelsworth. It says, could I request you both come inside the VR, please?
Okay.
It's going to be good, right?
But Grifter thinks we're playing Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
Both go in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you both appear in the VR, Nico, you appear in the avatar that KTP made for, which is a cat. And he says, I think for this, and he snaps his finger, and you appear in the VR as yourself. He changes the avatar. Says, there is a meaning to this. First of all, ma'am, and looks to you, KTP, Mixer would like to see you. Apparently you left something behind.
What did you leave behind?
And he like motions towards the right, and the door to the last bar on the right appears. Says, you should go, and I will have a quick chat with Lady Nico.
I think that's the first time anybody's ever referred to me as a lady.
Damn shame.
You are too adorable.
So does KTB go through?
Yeah, why not?
You go through, the door opens, you enter the door, closes, locks, and there is a Mixer there with a full hazmat suit. Like his avatar has a hazmat suit, and there's a bunch of like showers there, And it says, right, go in. And one of the showers says Norton. The other one says McAfee. Says, you're carrying bugs around and I don't like it. So we're gonna clean you up now. So this is embarrassing. This fucking technomancer carrying out viruses.
Wait, who trusts Norton for their?
There's like every brand of antivirus, both real and fictional, all there. It's like we're gonna try whatever works until you're not carrying weird shit around.
Filled.
The Windows Defender shower is just a bucket.
I'm thinking at least one of them is an exterminator.
It's literally the what's the name of that antivirus? AVG, AVN.
Oh yeah.
That one's just like the classic, like one like mosquito sprays that you just pump the thing out. That's one of those. It's a pesticide. Back on the VSS, I couldn't help but overhear the conversation, and I have AVG. That's the one.
Yes.
that's the pure just insecticide pump. And he says, I have thus requested a favor from an old friend. And another door appears behind him, a nice wooden door. And he opens and says, please.
And she stands there and she's looking at him like she hasn't had a lot of interactions with Pixelworth, and what they have is had very superficial. And she's trying to decide if she actually trusts him. KTP trusts him, and KTP. All right, she'll go through the door.
He closes the door behind you, and you find yourself in a nice room. I'm assuming you're in VR in cold sim, so you don't have sensory input. It's a nice room with a very almost calm, a wallpaper with like a calming pattern. And there is a couch. And across from the couch there's a coffee table. And across from there is a man in a full firefighter suit. Saying, hello. Please join me.
Okay. And she will take a chair opposite him. She's not going to get too near him.
He stands up and says, oh, sorry. Different business. And literally does the motion of like tapping something on a deck. And the image changes, and like the most of the firefighter costume is on. It just has like the pants, the suspenders, and a coat, like a tweed coat appears on top of it. Doesn't match at all. Says, your friend KTP knows me as Firestarter.
Yeah, she's mentioned.
My name is John Walsh, and I'm a therapist. If you would like to have Pixelsworth mentioned you've been going through something, and I just here if you want to talk.
And she just looks at him and she starts to laugh.
He doesn't smile, doesn't laugh, just smiles.
I don't even know where to start.
And how about you sit down and we go from the beginning?
I don't want to right now.
Whenever you want, that door is open. Whenever you need it, and whatever is said in here is between the two of us. And you can be this place is isolated from everything, so there isn't a safer place in the world.
Mm. And that's her response. She says,
I will do this in person, but I'm, let's just say halfway around the world from where you are. So
I appreciate the thought and the gesture. and I'll let Pixelworth know if I'm ready.
Well,
Thank you. And she stands up and will offer her hand.
exit.
Have a good night. She turns around and walks out the door.
You open the door, and as you open it, you immediately come out of VR, and you're sitting in the base. KTP is zonked out, also in VR, and right now just getting the radioactive scrubbing.
And Nika goes to find Grifter and she goes, "Are there any bears left?"
If there isn't, I'll get some more.
All right.
Do you want to hang out?
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
more
yeah.
silent spells.
Can't guarantee that.
I'll take that.
Okay.
I think that's a great place for us to leave the session. Go to therapy, people. It's important. It's good. And if
It
you're
is.
carrying techno spiritual bugs, get tested. So yeah, that's gonna be where we're gonna leave this session. Gonna give everybody 5 karma, and we'll be back with our next episode next time. I think next week. Though, Kim, can you remind us the dates for Game Blast, please? I know you'll do the whole spiel in your outro, but
So I think the only day that we'll miss is around about the 24th. I think.
I'm basically just
23rd.
calling it now that the full week of
Yeah.
Game Blast, there won't be any game on the
Oh,
channel.
okay. Yeah. So from the 17th, for 10 days.
Okay, so the 23rd then of this month.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Cool. So, yeah, that's it for us. 5 karma. Let's just leave you guys to talk about who you are and where people can find you. Kat?
Oh, I'm Kat or at Clerk of Court. I'm looking in a bunch of different Discord servers, and occasionally I go through Twitter and like and retweet shit. And you can find me here on Thursdays, except for the 23rd. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me right now.
And the Uncomfortable Silence crew?
I'm Peter. You won't find me anywhere except on here or later levels, which you'll do the thing now. So I'll just shut up.
And who did you play?
Oh, Grifter. I thought I was quite emotional.
And for Grifter,
Yeah.
that's a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emotions.
All right. Oh dear. So I'm Kim. I played KTP, the Technomancer, who's getting sprayed. So yeah, as Pete said, you can find us at later levels. And as Kevin mentioned, from 17th of February for 10 days, we're going to be streaming every day a different game from a different year in celebration of Game Blast, which is an annual event to raise money for Special Effect, a charity that helps people with physical disabilities play video games. It's not just us taking part though. Kevin will be taking part on the Lawful Geek, and Phil DS and Solarair in chat will be taking part on Pragmatic Pixel. So come find us from the 17th.
Hype.
So that's it for us for tonight. I will say though, people, if would like to pop in tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. UK time, which is about 4:30 p.m. EST. We'll finally be returning to our Vampire the Masquerade game, which has been postponed like 17,000 times for one thing or another. But now we'll finally be playing. Have a great cast, and it'll be fun. So make sure to join us because it's going to be interesting. But yeah, that's it from us. Thank you all for joining us. Thanks for watching. We hope you had a good time, and we will see you next time.